The philosophy of freedom begins with the question: are we free in our thought and action, or inescapably controlled by necessity? I do not believe we can settle the question of freedom by philosophical argument, so please include your experience in our discussion. I will start by asking each of you, what kind of freedom do you believe is worth striving for?
If it made any sense, the freedom I would value is the freedom of indifferent choice. When you are given a choice between carrying out action A or action B, there will always be a reason, the cause, that determines the action, the effect. In my lab we are doing market research, trying to identify the true cause of human action, so we can predict behavior. We ask people to report the reasons for their actions. What we find is that the subject's answer to why they act is seldom correct, so we begin by disregarding most of this data. Further research has verified determinism. There is always a reason that determines the subject's action, with one exception. And this is why the alternative to causal determinism, the freedom of indifferent choice, is worse. If things are not caused, they are uncaused and random. To escape from determinism, a free man would have to be uncaused, and act without a cause or reason. The free man would be a threat to society, an erratic and jerking phantom, who acts without any rhyme or reason at all.
Yes, we agree a reason always exists for human action. This is obvious. But, what is the reason? Let's examine the various reasons for why we act. And of course, a zombie's erratic random behavior is not free will. Do you have anything else, Mr. Science?
Another less extreme example of the freedom of indifferent choice that we have found, is apathy. Some prefer to let others make decisions for them, and always ask themselves what someone else would do. They typically cruise along, unconcerned, taking on the characteristics of the leader. These are the people we can easily manipulate with marketing techniques.
Yes, you can manipulate people for profit. But, without a will of their own, the follower lacks any morality and character that can be considered their own. The social consequences are severe, when passivity, submissiveness, and even numbness lead to a lack of social responsibility in economic, environmental, and political issues. In its proper place though, indifference will support freedom. There is also an indifference that leaves the will free from all prior consideration or inclination. In this case, the freedom of indifference consists in freedom from everything, the will remains uncaused. For the moment, the power of the self suspends the active will from all determinants. The mind is kept in a state of indifference, until there has been opportunity for proper deliberation. Serving as an unbiased juror, I must be indifferent to the outcome of the case. I withhold my decision, remaining neutral and impartial until the final jury deliberations.